I should have known better not to try and film this during Mercury retrograde and eclipse season, because I looked back and I was like, that was not sufficient. I was saying random shit. No. Life update. I feel like it's been a long time since I just explained the plot. In many ways this has been intentional, because a lot of what's happening in the plot was about a year of cooperative components coming that I didn't want to spoil for everyone. But in this video, I'm basically just gonna explain, girl to girl, whatever, what's been going on in my life over the past year or so, because it's insane. And I feel like I should rewind. I'm gonna grab your popcorn. This is gonna be a 40-minute video. I swear, the last one was 40, and that was with me skipping over stuff I should have mentioned. So about a year ago is when I didn't renew my first New York lease. I was in an apartment in East Village. It was so cute for 4.5 years since I was an NYU student, and I broke that lease because I had outgrown it. They were raising the rent, and I was just I'm gonna travel the world. Frankly, a lot of my reason to travel during that time was, one, because basically I was with someone who was helping me find investors for my project, and I felt that it was it was good. I was I'm going to see the world. I'm going to meet people that can help me with Astrace. I was raising around for it, and I was basically living off points. Ever since my mega cancellation in February 2021, all my income, everything went down 99.99999%. So basically, I was just living it wasn't struggling necessarily, but it was very much I paid for rent, food, and then any traveling was on points, because I've actually built up incredibly good credit over my lifetime, because my dad just started me with a credit card very early, so it was a ton of points where I traveled basically this whole summer on points, and in a way I saved a ton of money because I wasn't paying rent. I would fly based on miles, and then those points kind of used up around my birthday, which by that time, I had already run into issues with my company, with Astrace, trusting a lot of people and paying them a ton and then not seeing results. And I was basically okay, I need to just figure out what I'm doing with my finances, my creative direction, what's going on in my life. I basically was allowed to just I don't want to say couch surf, because I got their extra bed and stuff, I was never on a couch, but I just lived at friends for months. No one really saw it unless you noticed backgrounds changing, but in order to be oh my god, I want to make sure that my company survives, I'm I'm gonna live at friends, I'm just gonna hold it together, pay people normally, but me not do anything, which in hindsight I was overpaying people. This is Irish, she's a little Sphinx kitten, she's the sweetest and I love her. But basically it was in hindsight it wasn't a good thing, because I was paying other people an exorbitant amount, but not paying myself, which didn't really help because I was still paying other people way too much. But basically as fall came around, I was getting really into Abraham Hicks again and law of attraction, because deep in my soul Abraham Hicks is the most aligned teacher to me. And I was look, I'm gonna put myself in the receptive mode. I'm gonna start living out situations that I feel I can manifest fully. So I got this New York apartment in October that was beautiful. It was the 44th floor in a Times Square building. It looked over all of Manhattan, all glass. It was gorgeous, and it was too expensive for me, but I thought, I'm gonna leap into it. I can do this. I can find that amount per month, which has never been my style to reach for finances. I'm very much someone who's I only want to pay a tenth of my income in rent. So by getting that apartment, it was kind of it didn't feel aligned. It wasn't a true manifestation moment. It was I feel forced, and I'm gonna get it and deal with it. But very quickly I was shit, I don't even feel comfortable paying for furniture now that I'm here. So that was an issue, and that just was not, I could feel this was so not aligned. I signed the lease during a Mercury retrograde. I knew I shouldn't, and during that time was when also the Celsius debacle happened, which, if you're new or like me, you don't follow other people's drama, basically I was hired to do ads for Celsius, which was a crypto custodial company. I trusted them because frankly I'm fairly gullible, and if you come to me with a lot of notoriety and being well known and stuff, I'm gonna trust you. Oh my god, my cat's licking my arm. This is so cute. Okay, you can't really see it. But I trusted them because I didn't fucking know, no one on my team or anything was ever gonna raise any eyebrows. It was you're a well-known, trusted company. Of course I'm gonna trust you. I'd love to do ads for you. Cool. I'm someone who, when I see other YouTubers getting a sponsorship, I'm yay, you're securing the bag. The company's cool. Good for you. So when Celsius went under and then people blamed me basically for promoting them, I was this is insane. This is actually insane. You can say you're stupid for hiring. Oh my god, my cat just fell off this chair. You can, please let go. You can say I was stupid for doing ads for any crypto company, but I know in my heart at the time it was that wouldn't have computed. I was they're well known, they're basically a bank. I am the retailist of the retail, and that's why now I'm oh my god, I don't want to, I did stay away, like I can't talk about shit or anything, because I'm like the retailist of the retail. So with that, them going down, of course in the moment, my followers were like, she had no idea, because people watching my videos seeing clearly sponsored posts would have no idea. But there was an interview I did with Alex Mashinsky right before it happened where I said I was not paid shit. Like I wasn't paid for the interview. An interview I'm just doing because it's like friends, but people took that as me saying I wasn't paid for anything, which was silly when I documented my whole entire payment, like sponsorship, everything. But basically in October, when documents got out from Celsius being like she was paid like 35K total, which is very reasonable and normal for months of work for an influencer, like that was not uncalled for, or like no. That was not uncalled for, egregious over months of millions of views. That's a very normal like working rate for several months. Basically in October when all that came out, I mean, I was hit with death threat after, okay, now I have a second cat. Nope, you're not doing this. This is Yoshi. After that, it was just like death threat after death threat, people misrepresenting me, people saying that I was a criminal fraud, and I was like, bro, I was hired to do videos. You can say I was in over my head and I was stupid, but to make that shit up, I was so done. I was literally on my last leg of like, so many hundreds of people saying that they were like, it was like so bad. I mean, I had authorities involved, everything, and it was like that again brought up such suicidal considerations, because frankly I'm like the most sensitive little baby ever. Like I don't deal with exposure therapy well. Like you can say people are like, you'll build up a thick skin. I've talked with a lot of people that are also ostracized online. I have friendships with a lot of people who are also just very people that have been canceled, mistreated online over things that they just didn't do, and they don't have a way to speak up fully about it. I'm friends with several of these kinds of people because there's very few people who can understand that level of ostracism and humiliation. And often they develop a thicker skin. I think me having probably like very low, I'm just guessing, I probably have very little testosterone in my body. I'm not competitive. I mean, I'm a girl's girl. I let the guys deal with the, I mean, it sounds self-deprecating, but it's not. Like, come on, like I'm gonna let the guy be the driver, the payer, like not because I'm less than or anything, but there's things I'm better at, and one of them is talking very quickly. But like that's a side note of things I've just come to realize and accept and be like, yeah, like I'm like fairly alpha, but like I'm more just like little fickle person who's like clever. I'm not like actual alpha, you know what I mean? So with that, I was so done. I was like, I was just so suicidal during the time. I was like, fuck it. This is so stupid. This money went to Ask Race even. It didn't I wasn't paying for like whatever. People looking at my travel being like, no bitch, I flew on fucking points. You're an idiot. Like I was flying on points because I was trying to like save my fucking like company and shit. So with that, I was just so done. I was so done. And that weekend was the When We Were Young like rock festival in Vegas. And I went and I met someone that became extremely important in my life in terms of literally turning my life around. This person and you're gonna know and you're gonna see this, and I love you. Basically this person comes in with such a business experience, such an acumen, such a aligned, this is the kind of person where you meet and you've known each other for lifetimes, the amount of synchronicities, crossover, whatever, and to have this person actually want to stop and take care of me was like I'll fucking like cry about it. Like want them to help me during this time was insane. This person helped me basically leave my New York apartment, figure out how to tie those loose ends, live with them for a pretty extensive period of time while I was just like, I'm trying to put everything I can into my company. And during that time, basically like at When We Were Young, I looked up and I was seeing just like people that I admired and bands and stuff, because I got to be backstage and like meet some people, and some of the artists asked me like, because they saw I had an artist pass on. It wasn't even like artist guest, it was just like artist. I don't know how that happened, but I just had an artist like pass, whatever. I guess creator, artist, whatever. They were like, do you do music? And I started saying yes. And something in me was like, you've always wanted to do this, like you should think about it. I was also getting life coaching at the time from a really prominent person that's helped out other like entrepreneurs, high profile people. And she asked me like, what was your first thing you ever wanted to do? And I was like, I wanted to be like an emo Britney Spears. I was like 3, 4, 5 singing Britney Spears, but like wanting to be like edgy. Like I was always a little bit weird and edgy. I was always into just wearing things that are a little bit more dramatic or less, a little bit more intense. So when I thought about that and thought about this, I was like, something in me was like, put out music. And this wasn't a new thought. For those of you who don't know my background, I grew up doing acting, singing, entertainment related things like back in Houston. That was my life thing. I thought I was going to go and be like mediocre like actor. Not that I am a mediocre actor, but like my thing was always like, I love what I do. I don't care about inherently getting big or famous, like that would be cool, but like in my heart, I loved performing. Astrology was a side hobby that really took off during high school as a cool like addendum to me being like acting. I used to do summers like out here at UCLA or USC for acting camps. I got into NYU Tisch for like I thought that was gonna be my path. Initially I ended up transferring into philosophy. I initially got into Tisch and was in there, and then by my middle of my sophomore year, I transferred into philosophy. So basically, I did half my time at Tisch, half at philosophy program because I only was there for 3 years. But with that, my background in my inherent training has always been like entertainment based. No, I didn't land anything great. It was always just me doing whatever I could, but like deep down, I was always just like, I want to go into that. And throughout my TikTok journey, the thought was always, this cannot be the end. This is a means to an end. I don't want to end up like some people where the Wikipedia bio is always, influencer personality. Not that some people don't do a great job with that, but frankly, what I excel in is not something where influencer I think is a highlight. Like, for example, people that are really good at makeup or special effects or dancing, blowing up on TikTok for those talents is phenomenal. But I feel like with what I wanted to do and get into at the end of the day, and having my eye always on like horror films, I was like, I see what I'm doing as a means to an end. And then when 2021 came around and I was incredibly canceled, whatever, I don't have to get into it because it's like, those of you who are sticking around can see through the bullshit, and I'm just here in minding my own business, misrepresent me however you want. With that happening, I realized that without an audience or public support, I didn't know if I would keep doing what I'm doing. Because I felt like, obviously, it's not as if I don't absolutely love astrology. Like, that is my thing. Like, that's my fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I live, breathe that. I don't talk astrology with that many people, actually. But with work and content and all, that's, like, what I do. And I enjoy it, and I like helping people. But I realized that would I actually be doing it like I do now if I didn't get likes and clicks and all that? Because once the music stopped for a little bit, the question was, for one, do I kill myself or not? That's a question. I'm not someone that says I suffer with anxiety or depression because I don't. I see people that do and I don't. What I have dealt with is suicidal ideation, and that nonstop. And whenever something bad comes up in my life that feels insurmountable, like right now being extorted and literally threatened to an insane degree by people that I think have gone crazy, who were investors that think I'm ripping them off when I'm not. They're just fucking delays because I was young, I was learning how to lead a company. It's been 1 year. Like, I'm just insane. That's a side note on the adrenaline in me right now as I'm recording this. People, accusing me, I have people saying they're gonna behead me. Like, investors. Like, dude, I'm tired. I'm like, bro, like, I gave up my life. You think, whatever. I don't have time for this. But, no, I'm not even kidding either. I'm not even kidding about that. And I can, whatever. With that realization of, like, I don't know if I would do this without the likes or the applause or anything, like, deep down there was always a seed of me trying to do the inner child work or whatever for, like, a year and a half around, like, what would actually make me happy. And there were a couple things, I tried here and there, and like crypto and all that was like actually the most accidental thing that's ever happened in my life, and I don't regret it. Like, I'm into crypto, like whatever, it's cool. But I can say that I would not have done that without, my cat is literally, I sit on this camera. Please get out of the way. Please, no, please get out of the way. No. Like, I was someone who looked at charts and money and coins and stuff and was just like, oh, this is kind of cool, this is kind of fun, like learning about investing is cool. I never really got into advanced investing. Like, I would put money here and there in early projects, and I don't know where any of that money went. So like I said, I'm retail as retail can go. But with crypto and blowing up and all of that, that was mostly like people wanted girl doing stuff. I thought it was cool. I definitely got in over my head in terms of like people expecting me to like be a financial advisor. Bro, I click buttons and like kind of sometimes make a profit, but in terms of actual, I've always been open about this. In terms of actual like macro or intelligent thought, bro, I'm gonna leave that to like the old guys. Like, I just want to like dress and be cute in front of a camera, and like maybe like I'm just so like I'm just coming to realize like I'm such a girl's girl, and I'm not gonna fight that. And I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to out alpha you. I'm not trying to strategize you in business, bro. Just let me do my thing. I still want to be good at what I'm good at. What I'm good at is not business acumen. I get people to help me with that. If I'm fucking honest, I'm better at the creative stuff. Boom, whatever. My Capricorn rising is very regimented and very streamlined, but like I'm not, whatever. So with that blowing up and that not being something that necessarily I always was excited about, but that like I was interested in, I tried to force that. I tried to force that with me really going in that direction with the career. And there were so many obstacles and roadblocks that finally it did come to me where it's like, look, I always have a toe in crypto and like interested in it and whatnot, but like I'm alluding to, I want to be creative. I want to build cool things. I don't care if I'm wealthy as fuck. Like all these people being so into the money and whatnot, I actually don't care. This is why if you're accusing me of fraud or like extorting me for money when I don't have that money to like give you, it all went into a company and we're building things, and if you aren't happy with that, then I don't know what to tell you, whatever. And secondly, like I just want to live like a cute life with my cats and make cool things for people, and I live a very, I spend most of my money on Erewhon and SoulCycle and like hair. Like I don't need to save a ton up. It's just me. I don't plan on having a family, like whatever. So I think that a lot of the threateningness that other people projected onto me and that I kind of took on and was like, oh yeah, I'm in crypto, like I have it together. Like I got swindled into buying. So I made my first 100 something K. Like I thought that was a ton of money. I thought I needed to buy a property. So I put all that into a property in Dubai. I never planned on moving there fully, but I thought I'd vacation in Dubai. Well, to make a long story short, turns out I was kind of manipulated and ripped off by putting my entire net worth into that. Now you can say I was stupid, but I truly thought the next thing. I thought I was gonna make so much money. I thought it was like I was on a roll, whatever. And then I started put all that into like over 3 years, I made like 100 something K that I could put into that. And I put it into a property, and over the past year and a half, it's like, fuck, I need to sell this. I need my liquidity back. That was a bad decision. I don't want to be in Dubai. I want to be in like New York. So I went back to New York after considering moving for like 2 weeks. I came back. But with that, I had this property hanging over me. Finally, like 2 months ago, I sold it and got like a very small percentage of the money back because basically I didn't know I was buying somewhat of a timeshare. I didn't know. I mean, the whole story behind it is insane, and I won't get into it because it would just be leaking bad energy everywhere, but like whatever, was insane. So I finally sold it, got that back, but like that was just like an example of me getting in over my head. And by no means knowing that I was making poor decisions. I thought, I'm reaching up, I'm growing, whatever. But like, oh my God, if you just look at like, it's a saga. That's why I'm like Netflix, Hulu, someone get the story in here, because every day it's an insane story here. Every single day it's insanity. Like I said, today I thought was chilled. I have someone saying they're gonna behead me. I did dead ass and dead seriousness. Whatever, like you think, and laughably, I'm wearing this. With that going on, I'll go back to when we were young and the music stuff. I just realized I was at my lowest, and I was like, what always made me happy? And I was like, the happiest thing ever that I can remember was when I was like from very little to like late teen, from very little to like 20 was when this would have been relevant. When I got to like act or sing or do anything where it didn't matter if it was big or small or whatever, just like I was in something creative, and that was what I enjoyed. So I hit up my manager, and she had already seen what went on where I made up that I was doing music and stuff at when we were young. She was just like, it was just funny, it was whatever. But we realized we're gonna do it. And I told my life coach, and she was so proud that like what I had come to the realization of was gonna happen. But it wasn't as if I was going to this blind. It wasn't as if I was going to this with no awareness of like what it takes to sing, be a musician, etc. Particularly when I was like 13 to 17, I did pretty intense vocal training. I technically was a coloratura soprano, so I had an opera background at first, and then when I started to get more into musical theater, I messed up my voice, not badly or anything, but enough to where like my teacher wouldn't work with me because he said that I was messing it up by screaming, trying to emulate male artists, which is so funny now because I know how to do that safely, and I'm not emulating them, I'm being my own soprano, screaming, like whatever. But that was definitely a hurt to my ego when I was like 17 and this guy dropped me. He was like, I can't help you. You're not following my advice. You're not using any mixed voice. You're screaming. You're fucking things up. I can't work with you. And I was like, oh my God. So that took a big hit to my singing. And for like a year after that, I didn't listen to music, which might sound insane, but like I didn't listen to music. I was like too upset that I couldn't sing. I also felt like at that time in my life, I have a very like soft, pretty voice. When it comes to being a teenager, I feel like what's valued a lot of the times in that kind of theater is like the loud, belty, like lower altos who can like really fill a room. And like now I know how to project my voice and stuff in a little bit of a better way, even if it's high. But like back then it's like my audition song was like, I remember when I was 17, my last audition song I ever did for like a musical kind of thing was My Favorite Things. And I sang it so fucking like, I sang it so like light and head voicing, and now I'd be like so horrible. But I kind of want to do like a fuck you version of that now where I can just like, because that song is so traumatizing for me to hear when I hear My Favorite Things, because I know the way I did, I was like, it was just so, I did it like, I think like an octave higher too, it was probably done very sweet or whatever, but looking back, I was like, it was just bad. So it's not as if when people see my music coming out, they're like, you just got up and randomly did this. No, I didn't get up and randomly do this. This has been something that I have, you know, I could just kind of like go back and turn on the things I need to. Not to say that I didn't have to get back into vocal training, because like to learn how to scream, that was intense. Because when you have very thin vocal cords, it's one thing to do like a light falsetto. It's another to figure out how to like fry scream and false chord scream and go into like, I mean, God bless my vocal teachers and producers. Not that I was difficult. In fact, I learned very quickly, as you can imagine. Like, I was obsessed. I was dedicated to learning this and whatever. But, like, it was just me coming in, you know, my little voice. They're used to working with guys, screaming, whatever. My voice, like, thin vocal cords are going to give out easier. They're going to need, you know, some support, some breaks. I only lost my voice once, and that's because I was sick. When you hear the song Paper Thin, when it comes out, you will actually be hearing my redo of it with only harmonies from the initial, you know, tracking, basically, because no sir, oh my god, no, get down from here. This is not going to work. You're gonna hear like actually half old vocals, half new vocals, because I lost my voice in the middle of recording it, and the new vocals were like melodyne to or basically the old vocals had to be melodyne to shit. It was like there was nothing left in me. My producer was like traveling or whatever. I had to get them out, so like my old vocals were like so tuned, and I was like, I have to do these again. Like, I actually love, like, I like produced vocals. I like melodyne, I like auto-tune, I like layering, I like a robust production of people sounding perfect. I don't want your live version, I don't want your acoustic version. You can kind of tell if someone can sing even if it's like melodyne usually, like whatever. I don't judge artists for tuning their vocals because it sounds better. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. So, but my first version was just like, it felt inauthentic because I was like, that was not how I sounded. So I went and redid it, and I didn't like one take, I just got it out and it felt so good. But it was a learning process, you could say. And there were, like, in entertainment, it's a lot of like running and then waiting, and like running and then waiting. So there was like almost all these vocals I recorded in like December, January, and then for my lead single, Autographs in Hell, that was all done in March, April, I think, yeah. So that one, the lead single actually ended up being one of the most recent ones because it was so good. It was just so good. So I'll have more that I can explain probably around the releases and stuff like that, because basically, yeah, I secretly came out to LA in November. I did not leave, and I moved all my shit out here so I could do a metal EP. A lot of these lyrics I had written for years in my notes, or at least ideas over the past few weeks and months. I've always liked rhymes and plays on words, and like a lot of these were things I would keep in notes and be like, that would be a good Instagram caption, or like an emo kind of a tweet one day. But they were good enough to where I came into the studio, I would work with my producer to like tell what instrumentals. I mean, I have a pretty specific like instrumental kind of structure I like. When you hear my songs, I mean, it's the way I describe it is just like, I like heavy synth, I like low tuned guitars, I like heavy bass, I like a lot of reverb, a lot of distortion. I do not want anything acoustic. I like very compressed vocals. I want like a pop metal. But I like heavy breakdowns. Like, I want pop melodies, and my most important thing that, like, I think if I could, like, say a combination of kind of things that I'm going for is, like, instrumentally, like, Sleep Token meets Bring Me the Horizon. And then vocally, I mean, I don't have anyone I'd actually compare myself to. I don't think I sound like anyone. People that don't know what they're talking about say that I'm sounding like Evanescence, but I'm not. They just don't have any other reference but a female artist except for Evanescence. I don't sound like Amy Lee, though. She's amazing. She's just a much more ballady, robust voice than I am, which mine's fine. It's just kind of more nasally and bright because I like that. But I'd say like vocally, Halsey's an inspiration, definitely. She's like probably my favorite pop, like female pop singer. But I mean, male artists more so inspired me, and I had to learn how to like use their techniques, but for my voice, which like when we started screaming and I heard what that sounded like, was like, it was so cool. I'm so excited for those parts in particular, because it was just such a learning curve. Like, it was such a learning curve, and you might think you're just yelling. No, you're not yelling into a mic. You're not using your vocal cords. You're projecting air through your false chords, or like vocal fry a little. Like, it's different. So with those things coming out, and like I was so picky. Oh my god, dealing with my mixers was I mean, that's what they do, but like the notes I would give was like so Virgo, which maybe artists do, but like I was just told I was very picky, and I was like, yes, I'm picky. Like, I want this one thing louder, and I don't hear this like very specifics. But I am incredibly happy and proud of it. And so this has literally been like my double life over the past like 9 months now. Has been recording vocals, a long period of waiting in between, recording more vocals, long period of waiting in between. I was connected with Ricky from Ice 9, who became like he's like just like an angel, like amazing, and we did Autographs in Hell in like a week. That's like our lead single. We did not take longer than like 2 days for vocals and maybe a week to get harmonies and like some other stuff in. But like that song literally came straight out of my notes. Everything in that song was straight out of my notes. Every single fucking thing. The only thing we changed was basically like you can tell where some of the ways the words are broken up or stylized, but like that whole thing was written in my notes. We thought of a melody together. He had some great instrumentals, and that was the most synchronistic thing ever. Like with Autographs, I'm just so obsessed with that song. I blast that in my car. I just love it. Like I can honestly say I love that song, and I don't care if no one else does. I literally don't care if 10 people listen to it. It's such a good song. So Autographs, I mean, I feel like that song's meaning is fairly obvious when you hear it. It's like, I'll be signing autographs in hell. Hope you're doing well without me. Like, I actually wrote that when someone I really trusted and valued that was like a colleague of mine, you could say, completely at like midnight, went on a rampage, texting me being like, you're a horrible leader, but just horrible. And like I said, I'm so sensitive. All I could think of in that moment was like, I'm gonna write this song. And it's like that, it's that coupled with everyone just always, feel like everyone hates me, which isn't true. I'm not gonna manifest it. Abraham Hicks, don't think about that. But it was a song that got at a lot of how I was feeling, and if you can hear it. I mean, the whole theme, I considered naming my EP songs about suicide because like, I don't have any experience for love songs. I don't have any experience for like partying. I mean, I have experience for partying songs, but like sober part. Like it was very like over this past travel, whatever, summer, I was around a lot of people who did a lot of interesting drugs, and I would occasionally like dip my finger in something, but like I never actually got high or anything. It's stupid. Like I would stay out super late, lose sleep, and not get any high out of anything. It's stupid. I can't pretend I'm into that. Like it's not that I pretended I was into it, but I was having an experience of seeing the world, and like now I don't give a shit. I don't have any good. I don't have any party back. No, my songs are around like betrayal and suicide and like fuck you. But I considered naming my EP songs about suicide, but I didn't because it was too on the nose. It was too like cringe, like whatever. But what I decided to do basically was because like during this fall when I was so close to killing myself again, and I was like, I need to help people. I was thinking, and I was like, what helped me was never like a hotline or like a manual. Like nothing helped me not kill myself besides people who were in the same place as I was, doing cool things and making cool things and making music. And all of the songs I listen to and still love are around like my favorites. Like I have like 2 favorite songs, I'd say. No, 3. I have 3 main favorite songs. I'll explain them. Why not? So the first one is Terrible Things by Mayday Parade, because it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. I can't relate to it, whatever, but Terrible Things by Mayday Parade. Second is Doomed by Bring Me the Horizon. The song's production, the vocals, that's my dream song in terms of like actually what it sounds like. And to this day, whenever I need just like, I want to hear a song that's produced well and mixed well, I'm obsessed with the vocals. Doomed by Bring Me. I want to cover that song so badly. Yeah. And the third one is Sympathy by Too Close to Touch. I want to do a cover of that too because there's never been a song that I've heard and related to more than Sympathy by Too Close. I mean, you can hear it, whatever. So I was thinking back to like when I was like the reason I decided to do like an EP and all these collective components came together was because or cooperative components came together was because it was like I want to do something that takes what I feel and my energy into something I'm passionate about, and it can all combine and maybe it can help people. So maybe, I mean, it might just be that you're like 14, you hear it at Hot Topic maybe one day and you're like, yeah, fuck those people who like gave me a bad grade or something. I don't know, but like it doesn't have to be as large scale as me who's literally being threatened to being beheaded or like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be that big of a deal, but you can know that big of a deal went into this. So, I mean, Autographs in Hell is a pretty self-explanatory song. The next song is called Paper Thin, and that one's around being told to be quiet and small and shut up, which is, that song's the most on the nose. That was a very easy song to write. And then I'm doing a cover. I'll let you see the cover that I'm doing for this. The cover it means a lot to me to be doing this cover. Like it's just such an early song inspiration for me. It's an older song that I'm doing. It's just so I'm doing a cover. And then I have a song called Lacerations on Your Tongue, which is like when you say my name, I hope it burns. Like, just fuck you. That song's weird. That song's weird. When that comes out, it's gonna be weird. And then the other song on my EP, and this might not be in the order. It might be in the order, it might not. I'm still deciding. It's called 50/50. That was the most lyrically meaningful song to me. It was the first song I wrote. It was the first song I came into the studio and I wrote that in like a day. Actually, I came in with horrible vocals, way too crowded, and my producer was like, throw it all away. And I was like, okay, like, all right. And then I wrote that. We wrote that. But I had a lot of that in my notes as well, which 50/50 is about, like, it's the chorus is literally to be or not to be. I'm feeling 50/50. Don't need your sympathy. I'm still feeling 50/50. It's so catchy. It's the catchiest song ever. You can use it when you're like about like, you can apply it to like, I don't know if you want to date someone or not, like, whatever. So it's a very metaphorical song around like just fucking suicide. The lyrics in that, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I mean, I keep going on, but I feel like this is how you should sound around your own music. So I'm very happy with it. I've shot in a few of the music videos. I'm obsessed with them. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I wanted to put all this out on the 19th, the day that this is out. But as is true with entertainment, there were delays just simply because of wanting to make things the best version and refusing to rush. I feel like I wanted to get this out much earlier because I feel like I'm expiring, because I will be 25 later this year, and I hold a limiting belief that I'm getting rid of, that I have already expired after 21 and it's like nail in the coffin at 25, which I know is insane, but that's something I personally do entertain. And I've seen, thankfully I have friends who are much, decade plus older than me, which they're not old, but they're much older than me, who have expanded me out of, quite honestly, just being physically beautiful still at their age. And I know that sounds stupid, but like, if you're reinforced, if you're in a position like I am, where other people are more so even, where you're reinforced by feeling like the underlying reason for anything you do in your life is because of your appearance, that kind of gets to your head in a way of like, oh my God, like there's gonna be a cap to that. Not that at all, I am the utmost recipient of that, or I have the most pretty privilege or anything, but like, I think about it a lot. And I own up to it, but also I don't demerit anything else I've done on top of that. Because I could have just been, a pretty face, fucking whatever, and not done shit, but I didn't. So when you're asking who wrote these songs, I fucking did. I got help. Like, of course, like I wrote them with my producer in there tweaking things, but like I came in with the notes app. I had these. This is me. So no one's doing this. I'm not an industry plant. No one's gonna say that. I feel like, because it's like me. This is so me. Like no one planted me. But yeah, we did this and we're getting it out, and I wanted to release it on the 19th, but there were delays because I was not going to rush this. So I'm gonna say a date now that I think it's going to come out, and I might have to edit this. I'm gonna have to edit. Actually, no. If I say a date and it's not confirmed, we're literally, I get a final version of something tomorrow, and depending on that is when we can do the rollout or whatever. But I'm telling you two people first, because if you watched this whole video and saw it, like, props to you. Basically, the video will be out, or the song and the video will be out late May, early June. Sorry, it's been a long day and I have a cat purring in my lap, so she's very cute. So late May, early June. I have a few dates astrologically I prefer will be the first single. It is called Autographs in Hell. If you have been following a few Easter eggs, it's not too hard to tell some of the components and things that are going on with it, but just know that like there's some really tough stuff still happening just with like just feeling like people misunderstand me and misunderstand what I've done with my company, and just making up shit and being like, bro, like I was like I gave up everything to fund this. Whatever. That's like horrendous. I'm so tired of people. I'm just tired of people like projecting, malice onto me when it's like I am like, no. But with music, that's all I'm gonna, talk about openly, focus on whatever, just to give that my vibration, because it's going so well. And like the synchronicities, the alignments, the manifestations with it have been so effortless and so aligned to where like I said, unlike some of the content I put out otherwise, I don't care if 10 people listen to this. It could be like no one could care. But it's so good. I think it's gonna be more, which I don't care. But like, so good. It's so good. And if I'm picky as hell and I'm saying it's good, like I don't like anything. Like I don't like acoustic songs because they're too thin. I don't like most pop songs because I feel like they're island beats. So like I was just so specific and so deliberate around the way things sound. And like I feel like you're gonna hear this and you're gonna be like, that's a Maren song. And yeah, I'm just going by my first name. It's just gonna be Maren in all caps, because I feel like that's the vibe. But things will come out. I would appreciate it if you pre-saved at the link below. That is the only thing I'm going to ask from you in this video, is to pre-save at the link below. Or I'm going to put a thing that says like watch on my Instagram story for the pre-save. Basically, this will be announced heavily on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I might do a community post around it on here as well. But like, I'm so excited. This is the new Maren era for the marinara sauce, and you're going to see some like awesome shit. So share, do all the things, and you get to hear me scream soon. Not in that way, but yeah, that was horrible. I'm trying to think if I have anything else because I really don't want to edit in this video, but basically, stop saying you're gonna behead me, listen to my music. And she's in my lap. This is really cute. So I will see you guys.